Hello. Hello. Today I am here because I think that we all need to stretch. I definitely have had to stretch more often than I ever really have before because I'm taking care of my poor little ankle. And so today I figured we could take a little break from our day and stretch together. So grab yourself a little space. I have a yoga mat. I have a little poof for when I need to sit up straight and be more comfortable. I have my dog by me. I have a flex band. I have just a couple things, but you really don't really need anything to do this stretch. I'm just going to go through some of the stretches that I've been doing recently, because if you don't know, I injured my ankle. So stretching and strengthening up your body is so important for skating and just in general in this world right now. I feel like a lot of us end up staying really stagnant, and that's definitely how I've been feeling. So let's take some time to stretch today. Thank you. I love my earrings too. Savvy made them, Savvy Craft. So I'm going to do this whole thing sitting down because my ankle hurts. So if you want to sit down with me, that is excellent. I have this little poof that I'm sitting on because I also have a tailbone injury. It's from a long time ago, granted, but it is still a tailbone injury. So I like to sit on something that makes it more comfortable for me. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to roll our neck. So roll it to one side. I'm rolling. Oh, that feels so good. I almost never do this unless it is intentional. And I just feel like doing a couple rolls and then rolling the other way. Feels so nice. I'd also like to say that I am by no means any sort of certified to teach you stretches. I'm just doing stretches by myself and welcoming you to join in. So let's roll out our shoulders. So I'm going to roll my shoulders back a couple times. You can just roll them back. Just get a little rotation here. You can also put your hands on your shoulders if that helps you to get that rotation. And after doing a couple back, we're going to do them going forward. Take some breaths. I have been starting yoga, and wow, what I have learned is that your breath is so important. Okay, so I'm going to start out by doing some arm stretches. So we're going to put our right arm in front of our other one and pull it back. And we're just going to hold it here. For me, when I was in derby specifically, I needed to do a lot of arm stretches, and that's because I was a jammer and I would always just go through things with my shoulders, and so I always needed to do more arm stretches. So this is one that I really like. And also, I'm not timing or anything, so you know how sometimes switch your arms, you know how sometimes you watch a video where you're like stretching or you're working out with someone and you're like, wow, they talked a lot on one side. Maybe we didn't exactly do the evenness, like the amount of time correctly on the other side. That might happen here, but that's okay. I feel like these are all good stretches to do. So even if you just take some kind of notes from the stretches we're doing, then it might be helpful to you in the future. Okay. So now let's put our one arm over the other one, and then you're going to use your other arm to pull that elbow. This one feels really good for me because my shoulders are always really tight. I honestly don't know what I've been doing that my shoulders are so tight all the time, but they are. They're so tight. So we're just going to stretch out our shoulders a little bit. And remember that switch, oh my gosh. Okay, so this shoulder is more painful for me. So remember that if you're experiencing pain, then you definitely want to stop. So listen to your body And if your body's like, don't do it, I don't want you to do that, that hurts, maybe find a way to adjust it and do it in a way that stretches but doesn't hurt. Okay. That's nice. Okay, so now we are going to just sit down in whatever position you feel comfortable. Oh, my ankle hurts so bad. Okay, so I'm going to sit like this with my half ankle out and then my foot right there, but you could sit in a cross-legged position. You could sit however you want. And one thing that I really like doing is just getting in this position and then twisting. So I'm going to put one hand on my knee or on the ground, and then I'm going to twist my body, and then I'm going to look behind me. So I'm going to find something behind me. I have some really nice skates back there, so I'm just going to stare at the skates and think, wow, won't it be nice when I can skate on you again? And I'm stretching. You should feel it in your back. So if you're feeling stretched in your back, you are doing the correct thing. Once you have stretched and you feel good about that side, then you're going to stretch to the other side. There might be one side that is going to be easier for you than the other. That's totally normal. We use different sides of our bodies more than the other sides all the time. So if you're like, I'm super flexible on my right side, but not at all my left, normal. I mean, like, what is normal anyway? So that. Okay, so now I want you to put your legs out in front of you. I feel like I should either scoot back or lower my screen down a little bit. So I will do the easier, which is scoot back. Okay, so I'm putting my feet out in front of me. You can see my little ankle brace. And then I'm just going to reach up really, really high into the sky. I'm going to stretch out, and I'm going to try and reach. And then I'm going to reach out towards my toes, and I'm going to exhale as I'm reaching down. So inhale, reach up, and exhale, reach down into it. And you might be reaching, and you might only be able to go this far. You might be all the way down here. You might be hugging your knees. Any way you're doing it is going to be just a nice, delicious stretch for your body. That folding, you might be feeling it in the back of your legs. You might be feeling it in your core. You might be feeling it in your shoulders. You might be feeling it in a bunch of different ways. So we're just going to do a little stretching here. Hold this for a moment. If you want to try and go a little deeper, you can breathe in and then breathe out and try and push yourself deeper into the stretch. I saw a person one time do this thing where they had us interlace the toes in your fingers, like in between your toes. And me and Chev make fun of it all the time because it is the weirdest sensation in the whole world. If you don't believe me, try it right now. Interlace your fingers into your toes like this. This is so weird. It's the weirdest sensation. I'm honestly still not quite sure what that does or why to do it, but it was very fascinating, and a thing that I don't think I've ever experienced thus far in my life. Like, I've never even tried that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put one of our legs out to the side and one of them in like this. And then we are going to lean to one side. So you can either lean to one side with this, and then you can go over like this. So you can lean and then twist your body, or you can just turn your body first and then lean down. But either way, try and exhale into that stretch towards one side. I'm starting with my left foot out. And then you can hold it in this position. And again, when you inhale, think to just inhale all of the positive things that you need right now in this moment. And you're exhaling out all of the BS that has happened to you so far in this day, all of the things that are frustrating you. You're just breathing those out with the stretch. I always thought it was super cheesy when people said things like that. This feels so good, so I'm staying a little bit longer. So I don't know if y'all are staying longer in this position as well or not, but it feels very nice to me. I always thought it was weird when people said that, like that you're inhaling positivity and exhaling negativity. But as my life has gone on and as I've gotten older, I have just found more and more need for that. So, okay, so now we're going to switch legs and we're going to put our other foot out. I'm putting my, oh look, a Home Depot bucket. That's like so lesbian of me. I'm putting my right foot out. And so right now I'm modifying this stretch. Usually I would put the other leg in like this, but I have a hurt ankle, so I'm not going to do that. It hurts me when I do that. So I'm putting my foot out right here, and then I'm going to reach toward my right foot. Inhale in, and then breathe out and try and come close to this leg. For me, I used to do this in ballet, and it used to be like a full kind of a stretch thing that we did. But I haven't been doing it. And I used to also stretch a lot during derby practice. And also that doesn't exist anymore. And so I've taken this sprained ankle as a note from the gods that I need to stretch more. So that's what I'm doing. And I figure if I'm stretching more, I should make you guys do it too. So yeah, stretch with me. Yay, stretching. This one is definitely not as comfortable for me as the other one, but that's okay. That's because we have more flexible sides again and not flexible sides. And as we're sitting here in these stretches, just kind of be grateful for this moment that you're taking to think about your body. A lot of times we think like that our body doesn't take priority. And so you're going to wiggle your feet in. So once you've taken them out, you're going to wiggle them in. Okay, so we oftentimes don't take time for our body. So I just want you to feel proud of yourself that today you're taking the time to exercise out your body and just to stretch the different parts of you. So right now, I want you to take your wrists and I want you to just kind of do some wrist rotations. Wrist rotations, a lot of times we are working on our computer, we're working with paper and pen, we're doing a lot of things that require a lot of like typing or texting or anything like that, and we forget to stretch out our wrists. Our wrists need that little break. I know I tend to not pay attention to my wrists, and then all of a sudden I wake up one day and I'm like, I can't move my wrist. So we're going to do a little wrist stretch and a little like reach out. So reach those fingers all the way out and then close them all the way into a fist. Reach them out all the way. Maybe wiggle them around a little bit. Close them. Reach them. And close them. All right, we've got a little release and stretch action in our wrists. Okay, so now the main event, the main reason why I am doing this stretch. Let's do some ankle mobility stretches. Now, again, I have found these completely and entirely by going on YouTube. So I found these from other people who are physical therapists or from other people who are doing stretches and stuff like that. So I'm actually, what I realize is I need to lower the camera a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that you can actually see my ankles. Okay. I should probably look at this. Okay, cool. My ankle is not better. I am working on my ankle I'm fixing my ankle. So that's why we're here. So if you have something like this is one of those flex bands, you would want to use this. You could also use a towel. You could use a belt. You could use anything that you have around your house you probably could use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around the ball of my foot and I'm going to hold it and I'm just going to stretch my foot up into a flex position and I'm going to hold this for a little bit of time. Now, if you have a recent ankle injury, you shouldn't do this unless you are not feeling pain when this happens. So if you have a recent ankle injury or any kind of injury and you do this and you feel pain, again, please stop. And also, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just doing some stretches, and you can do them with me if you want. And then I'm going to try and point my toes through this and then pull them back into a flex. And then point my toes. Ooh, cracky, cracky. Pull them back. This is a lot more work than it was a week ago for me. And just going to do a couple more of these. So ankle strength is so incredibly important for skating. When you have ankle strength, you are protecting yourself against a lot of injuries or against a lot of easily preventable injuries just by strengthening your body. So I'm switching over to the other foot. I'm having it pull up into a flex position. When I do this, I'm feeling it in my calf. So I'm feeling a stretch in my calf. And it feels honestly really nice. Leading up to this injury, did not take the time to stretch very often. I was just starting to do yoga, but other than that, I didn't take the time out of my day to stretch. And now I've decided, because I was doing Moxie Skate daily leading up to this, I've decided to take the time that I was using to skate to do stretching and take care of myself and lots of different random skate stuff that doesn't involve actually skating. So I'm resting. For me, what I'm doing is I am resting my ankle like 90% of the day. I'm doing 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off of ice. I'm elevating it as much as I can. And then I even got a little scooter. I don't know if you could see it, but it's like right back there. I have a little scooter that I borrowed from a friend, and I'm using that. So I'm just pointing through and pulling my feet back up, and then pointing through and pulling my feet back up. I'm not at the point where I can do this yet, but another way to strengthen your ankle is to raise up your feet. So to be, if you were on the ground, and let's imagine the ground is right there, and then you go onto your toes, or if you were to stand on the edge of a curb or a box, and then to lower your ankles past that and lift them back up. That's also something they recommend. I am not yet at this point because I am still struggle busing. But eventually we will get to that point, or I will get to that point, and whoever is with me on this ankle journey. And that is the next step after that. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, and you're going to be like, what is this, Rebel? It is ankle ABCs. And what you're doing with an ankle ABC, and I get back on my trusty little pillow back here, is you are doing the ABCs, but you are making the ABCs with your big toe. So you're going to go A, B, C, D. What you're doing is you're working on your ankle rotations, and you're acknowledging wherever it takes a lot more work for you to do it. And you're also acknowledging where it hurts, and you're taking note of that. You're being kind with your body whenever it is telling you that it can't continue doing these ankle ABCs. Or maybe you're just working on your ankle stability and your ankle flexibility in doing these full rotations. So we are on cue. I'm sure that this is probably like a weird thing for some people. And honestly, I didn't even know it was a thing until like last week. U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, so I'm doing this to make sure I have that flexibility in my ankle moving forward. And honestly, I just want to skate for the rest of my life. So I'm going to try and make my ankle as strong as possible. So now I'm going to do it with the other foot, and this should be a lot easier and have a lot more strength to it. C, D. But what's really interesting also is that it's kind of like, it's so awkward. Like you get kind of shaky and weird. I challenge you to do this because it's actually kind of fun. Even if you're not injured and you're just like trying to figure out, okay, if you can do the ABCs with your ankle, like maybe one day I'm going to need to like show off in some sort of like foot talent show. Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Yay, we did ankle stretches. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do a couple other stretches and then I'm gonna be done for the day. So right now, whoa, it's so bright, I'm like blasted out. Okay, okay, so I'm gonna do some cat cows right now because those are really helpful to me. So a cat cow is a yoga move, and you're going to curl your back and get into all of your body and make yourself kind of into like a human hump. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to go into this depressed kind of U-shaped form with your body. So inhale and exhale. When I first started doing this like a week ago, I was like, my body doesn't move. I can't move at all. And now I'm starting to feel a little bit more into the flow of it. And it feels really nice because when you're skating, you tend to get a lot of pain in this lower back, especially when you first start skating. And the cat cow is one way to really stretch that out. Like this right now hurts really bad right here, but not hurts like ow. It hurts like, oh God, that's a good stretch. So I'm going to keep doing that. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do, actually, I think this is the last thing that I'm going to do, is I'm going to do a hip stretch. And this hip stretch is for people who want to get their hips to have more flexibility. So there are a bunch of different names for this. Some people call it frog. Some people call it stripper. I don't know. I love all of the things. So you're going to put your legs out kind of like in a diamond shape. Or I've seen it also, you just put your legs out like this, and then you're putting your feet and your hips on the ground as much as you can. And you're letting gravity kind of pull your hips into that stretch. And so you're able to kind of relax into it, but your body is really stretching. If it feels kind of spicy in your hips, that is normal. And then when you feel comfortable, you can also sit back into it. So I know you can't really see what's going on, but my legs are still out, my knees are bent, and I'm sitting back into that position into it. This I found to be incredibly helpful while skating. If you're one of those people who are trying to do like side stands, or you're struggling with opening up your hips for any sort of skate moves, this movement right here, this stretch, which I feel like here, like this. You're like this, and then going forward into it, this back and forth. So staying here and stretching here, and then going back and sitting into it here. It's really, really helpful. That flow is really nice. Also, if you're trying to get your splits, your side splits, this is also another good practice for that. So moving forward. Ugh. But like this is so tight for me, and I know that it's probably super tight for you too, and that's totally okay. I used to be able to be really, really flexible in this position, but then I sat on the couch for, I don't know, a year because of the pandemic, and you know, now we're here and we're doing it. And that's what we have to think about. We can't think about everything that's happened in the past. We just have to think about how we're going to strengthen our bodies moving forward. So sit back into it. If you really want to push into it, you can put your hands out in the front and then put your body down to the ground And that definitely strengthens that stretch quite a bit. And then what we're going to do is you can either keep your legs back here, like I like to keep my legs back here and do this, but you're going to take your opposite arm, you're going to lace it through, and you're going to get a little bit of a shoulder stretch in there too. Then you'll take the other arm and you'll lace it through, kind of looking through the eye of the needle there. This one stretches a lot and it hurts a lot, but it's good. Whew. All right. Okay, so that was my stretching session. I hope that you also took some time for yourself to stretch, whatever stretch that looks like for you, whether it's the stretches that I was doing or completely different stretch. I think it's just really good to spend some time with other people and stretch with them. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you are able to take the rest of your day and enjoy it and think about the things that your body can do and the things that you can do to help strengthen or to heal your body, and to focus on those instead of negative feelings that you might be feeling. And yeah, make sure, yes, and definitely, like, if you are injured, make sure that you first rest, that you are resting first before anything else. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, you're listening to your body, and you're not forcing your body into deep stretches before you are ready, and before your body is like, yes, or your physician's like, yes, or your PT is like, yes. All right, well, I will talk to you later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, everyone. Love you so much. I will talk to you soon.